Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a spirit navigator. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic called attachments, spiritual attachments. If you're new here, this is part of a series where I have over 100 videos about spirituality on this playlist for free right here on YouTube. It's like a spiritual academy that's completely free for you. Every single video was channeled. Now, when I say channeled, I mean I channel 60% my spirit guides. They're telling me God consciousness, and 40% Susan. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel, my main channel, you'll notice that I do have some channeled messages where I am completely under the influence, as it were, not at all like tequila, but anyway, under the influence of another entity, meaning my spirit guide. We've decided, and I mean that when I say me, I've mostly decided that I want to stay a little bit more conscious in this channeling. Now we're going back to apparently, we think that this is good because having the human component of the communication style is very important. It helps the message land more successfully because humans need to communicate to other humans. And when a human is talking like a robot, well, they look like a zombie. And sometimes that puts other humans off. So here we are. I'm going to stop talking about that. I'm going to talk about attachments. Now, this came to my awareness recently, but I will say, wow, I have been able to see ghosts since I was a child. I am a medium. I can communicate across the veil. I can talk to dead people, dead animals. I can talk to spirit guides, aliens. I can talk to them. Okay. I did not see this as a bonus, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's another story. But because I tend to cross over from the human realm to the spiritual realm, well, sometimes I come back with an attachment. Now, an attachment could be something that they're showing me a picture of a leech. This is why I don't let them have full control of my control panel right now, because like, hello, that's good. I don't know. I can't help them. It's like, I can't. So yeah, an energetic leech is attached to you. I guess it is a good metaphor. You don't know it's there, but it's there and it's draining your energy. That's the most important thing. And you don't want that. Okay. Just like we have human energy vampires, narcissists or people that just make you tired or drain your energy over the course of years. That ends up making you sick. That ends up becoming a physical manifestation of your energy draining out of your physical body. It starts out as an energy thing, it ends up as a physical thing. Okay. So we don't want that. So, if you have an energy vampire in your relationship group, now's a good time to start thinking about what do I need to do about that, because I don't want to get sick. It's not harmless. This is not a harmless thing. Like, I think humans, we tend to try to make the best of things, right? We just say, well, they're not really hurting me. They're just mean, or they're just inconsiderate, or they're just who they are. Well, you're making an excuse for them, but the truth of the matter, it is harmful. They want you to hear that message. This is harming you. Even if it's not a bruise on your arm, it's a bruise on your energy. Okay. So that's the human version. We're talking about the energetic version, which would be an energetic attachment. Now, I'm not trying to freak anybody out. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to empower you. Okay. So if this is making you feel unempowered and fearful, I mean, please be my guest and don't watch, because it's not meant to do that. It's meant to educate you and empower you. The other thing I would say is, I'm not an expert. The 40% that Susan is probably mucking all this up. So if this doesn't sound right to you, find a teacher that makes sense for you, right? It's a free world. It should be. So for those of you who are still here, and especially for those of you that actually went and got the popcorn out of the cupboard and put it in the microwave, and now you're like eating popcorn, like, what is she going to tell us? Especially for you. Okay, by the way, you that are eating popcorn, stop watching all those true crime movies. Stop. Okay, now let's talk about attachments. Right, because there's nothing that I say is my own and it all has a purpose. If you are a person who likes true crime and likes, horror movies and things like that, that does sometimes create little pinpricks in your energy, aura that could create an area for an attachment. Okay. Not for all of you. Some of you can do it with impunity, the guides are saying, spirit guides are saying. That's not the majority of you. Believe me when I say the majority of you should not be watching those movies or spending so much time in it. Um, there's reasons you're attracted to it. It's probably past life reasons. Okay, so that's something you're trying to work out in your energy. But find a way to work through it. Like, why am I attracted to this? Is it helping me? Do I watch these things and do I not sleep well at night? Do I watch these things and then I hear things in the house that nobody else hears? That would be an indication that it's not really the best thing for you. If you watch those things and you love it and you sleep at night and it doesn't bother you at all, maybe it's okay. Now, that's important about attachments because when our energy is weakened, let's say you've been sick, even, hospitals are full of kind of not great energy. So if you've been sick, your energy is weaker. If you're feeling depressed or feeling down and out, your energy is weaker. That's a really good time for these types of energy attachments to attach because you're just not strong and robust. Also, guess what? These energy attachments do not vibrationally match to a person who's joyous and happy and who's having a good moment in their life. We want to say no human has a lifetime full of only good moments. We're all going to have the ups and downs, right? Like the guides always say, your life should be like a song that has the highs and the lows and the dramatic part, because a good song has all those things, right? It has all those notes. It's just not one high note, plink, 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 plink over and over again. That's a boring life. Our soul didn't sign up for that. So if you're having a time in your life, a moment in your life where you're like, I'm feeling good, I could do this, then typically attachments are not going to be able to attach to you at that time. But like I said, we all have those times when we're like having that self-doubt, where we're having that low moment, where we're maybe not feeling very well. This is when attachments can come in. Now, the other way that attachments can come in is through family members and lovers, partners, exes, because you've opened yourself to them. Family members, you grew up with them. They know where your soft spot is, don't they? They know where to put the dig in, or they know where to help you, regardless, depending on what kind of family member they are, right? But they know you in a way not a lot of other people know you. Okay. And so family members can put an energetic attachment on you. Now, guess what? They don't have to be deceased to do that. A living family member, a living ex, a living partner, any number of things living on this physical plane can also attach their energy to you. See energy vampire earlier. Okay. But if they're deceased, they can still do it. Or wait a minute, do I want to talk about that? If they're deceased, they can still do it. It's different. They're saying it's not the same. It does. I feel like the line judge in tennis, foul. Um, okay, it does not fall under the category of energy attachment. If they're deceased, human. This is very important distinction. It does not fall under the category of energy attachment. Maybe a different category. They said haunting. These Who are these spirit guides? Once again, I need to get like a GoFundMe to do an upgrade. I need a spiritual GoFundMe to get an upgrade. They're like, haha, that's funny. Yeah, it is funny. Maybe to you, but not to me. Anyway, okay. I'm not going there. I'm not talking today about loved ones that are in spirit that are attaching to you. Am I? They just showed me a picture of a terrible attachment I saw one time. I mean, it was the worst attachment I've ever seen. This guy's mother was attached to his spine because he didn't have a spine. Because when she was alive, I don't know why it's not the same. I'm not going to argue with them. This is they ruled what they ruled. Your Honor, I accept your ruling. But I saw energetically, right? I saw this guy and his deceased mother was curled up, wrapped around his spine, you guys. Now, of course, he had back trouble, terrible back trouble. But when you looked at him energetically, she wasn't even trying to hide it. This was the worst. I think this was the worst I've ever seen in my whole life. And she did not look like a human. She looked like some kind of like gremlin lizard thing. And it was wrapped around his spine, like from the base of his spine to like his root chakra, his sacral chakra, which is home and safety, right? From the root up to like gives me chills to his like his shoulder, right beneath, well, almost to his neck. So I don't know why that doesn't qualify as an energy attachment. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm channeling. If you guys know what to do, call 1-800 Spirit Guides, press 1 for complaints, except for the don't do that because then I can't call it because it's always busy because I shared it with all of you guys. I'm just channeling. I don't know what to say about that. The guides are saying, well, now everybody wants to know what happened to that guy. Well, here's what happened. Okay. He didn't, I was doing readings for a while, but I'm not doing readings right now. Number one. Number two, this was when I was just accepting my abilities. I wasn't really in my full power or had any assessment of my full power. And I was in a a sound healing where there was a sound healer, like a bath. We were all laying on the floor, and a bunch of us new kind of psychic mediums went together in a group. Okay. But there was like 50 people there. So it was like just 5 of us, but there was 45 other people there. And this one guy knew somebody who knew one of us. Okay. And she came to us and she said, when this is happening, when this sound bath is happening, watch him, because he was really close to us. And she said, watch him and see what you see, because she knew this was there. She didn't tell us. She just said, see what you see. Well, let me tell you, after that sound bath, we were bugged out. Like our eyes were like golf balls. And the whole ride back from that sound bath, we were like, we didn't tell him. He didn't ask, do I have an attachment? No, he didn't ask us. It's not our place to tell him. But we did talk to the woman who suggested that we look. And did we psychically pry? It was in full view. She didn't try to hide it. Remember, we just said that. She wasn't hiding anything. She was proud of what she did. And between the 5 of us, we figured out it was his mother. I mean, we kind of figured out what we could figure out. And then the woman that knew him said he's just really miserable. He's miserable without his mother because she was his everything. He never really became a full human being because she energy vampired him and she just controlled him. And even from the grave, she's inserted herself literally into his spine, which could have happened before. Oh, that's why. Okay, thank you. Because it happened before she died. It happened before she died. It didn't happen after she died because they said, they're actually yelling at me, we won't allow it. Once you cross to the light, you can't do certain things. You can't haunt people. If you're haunting somebody, you never went to the light, okay? If she crossed to the light, it wouldn't have been allowed, okay? And she did cross to the light, but she inserted herself into him before she crossed. Well, how the heck did they allow her to cross to the light when she's doing all this foul stuff over here? See what I'm talking about? 1-800-SPIRIT guides. We couldn't stop it. He allowed it. He has free will. He allowed it. He subconsciously, it comforts him. It's whacked. I know it's whacked. It's crazy. That's why I'm always going on and on about the subconscious. What you don't know is not good. If he went into therapy, if he went into a lot of self-help, Western medicine therapy, on top of energy healing, on top of shadow work, on top of every kind of thing you can imagine, he could get free of this and he could become his own man and he could do what he's supposed to do in this lifetime, because none of those things are what he came here to do. His free will, I want to say his free will was usurped, but it was really, he was co-opted, he was coerced, okay? He did it willingly, but he was also raised by this woman like that. So anyway, as long as she stays in his body, he's going to have back problems. He's going to have spine problems. He's going to have problems standing up for himself. He's going to keep asking for this lesson. That's what he's doing. When we have this terrible thing, like we have back problems or we have relationship after relationship that's terrible, 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 those are patterns. And at some point, we get so fed up and so sick and tired of those things happening to us that we start asking for help. You start praying for help. You start asking for help. You start allowing help. And then things start to shift and change. And you get your own, you step into your own power. You use your own free will to get that help as well. So it's like, as above, so below. In your physical life, you got to go get therapy. At the same time, you've got to ask for help. All those things fit together like cogs. You can't, not one is really going to fix the situation, especially when it's physical. Okay. Sorry, that was fascinating, I'm sure, but that's not what I'm supposed to be telling you. Right. So if he wanted to fix this is what he would do. He would get mental therapy, because he needs to understand his relationship with his mom, his relationship with himself. He needs to go through all of that stuff that none of us want to go through. And I don't blame you, but because it's dark and it's difficult and it's emotional, and humans don't really want that, but that's the route that you take to well-being. That's the route you take to mental health. You have to go back and figure out what hurt you, how it hurt you, and how that's impacting your life right now. At the same time, take some steps in your own life to get some energy healing. Sound healing is wonderful. I'm a huge proponent of sound healing because sound moves energy out of the body. That's how we were able to see that entity in him. So let's talk about the thing that I wanted to talk about. Okay. The thing I wanted to talk about was attachments, because I found this technique, or I learned about this technique from my good friend, Susanna, who's going to be doing some amazing work. Wait till you guys see her on my channel soon, in a month or something. I don't know. But I know the work she does. I've been lucky to benefit from the work she does. It's incredible and it's new. And I'm glad she's finally getting all the moving parts together. But anyway, she mentioned this to me yesterday, and I thought I've got to tell people about this because it's such a good tool to have in your toolbox, right? So here's what you do. If you want to know if you have an attachment, or you want to just monitor your energy so that you know when an attachment happens, like you can't really live your life like, I'm never going to have an attachment. I'm going to put shields up and I'm going to block and I'm sorry, that it doesn't work. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't work. Like when I'm an empath, you're probably an empath. You probably don't think you are, but you probably are. And empaths feel things. We don't even know why we feel them. We feel sad. We don't know why. We feel anxious. We don't know why. Well, that's because you're an empath and you're tapping into the universal energy. Well, My response to that was, I'm going to put up a shield. I'm going to put myself in I did a whole video on this. They're reminding me that I was angry. I was a little upset at the time that my baby, when I was a baby, I didn't have a shell. I didn't know humans came with shells. I didn't have a shell, but I found out that other humans have a shell. A nice shell, like a turtle shell. And they can draw their little head and their little feet in, and they're safe. Nothing can eat them. Nothing can really attach to them. I don't have a shell. I'm like, why didn't I get a shell? Did I get in the wrong line? I mean, what happened here? Can I order a shell? Can you like rush that so I can get here tomorrow? And they're like, no, you're an empath. You're not supposed to have a shell. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, you're just gonna throw me to the wolves? I mean, thank you, with no protection? Really? That's what I signed up for? Again, go in your junk drawer, find the ticket, make sure you checked planet Earth and not some other place and accidentally landed on planet Earth. Anyway, I digress. So, empaths, empathic people don't have shells. We're not supposed to have shells. We're not supposed to block. It took me a whole year probably to work through that with my spirit guides. It was not pretty. So I have this video that I'm going to try to put at the end of this video because I think it was astounding. I think it was one of the best videos, and it's a collaboration with this woman who's a Reiki master energy healer, and she explained in plain English how empaths are supposed to filter the energy. You don't have a shell. You're a fish. You're supposed to be able to breathe underwater, which means, I'll translate into human terminology, you're supposed to breathe in a toxic sea of crap. So you're constantly breathing this stuff in, but you're pushing it back out. Empaths bring the stuff in and then it piles up until we get sick. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to recirculate it because you don't have a shell. You have to live in it, but you don't have to keep it. You can push it back out. Okay, I will put this video. I'm telling you, at the time I thought this is the most important video. It hasn't gotten the views it needs. You guys, I'm telling you, it's free. It's free. It's going to help you. Please watch it. It's going to be at the end of this video. Okay, now here's the tool. Because empathic people, would this work on a non-empathic person? Not as much because you have a shell. So I just don't even think you're watching. If you're watching this video, it's going to work for you. Just assume that, because there are no coincidences. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Use your imagination, because that is the language of spirit. Spirit uses your imagination to communicate to you, okay? Not your brain. So use your imagination. Whether you can see it, know it, feel it, I don't care. Use your imagination. Imagine a vine of roses wrapped around your body. You're not being strangled by them. You true crime watchers, stop. Just put the popcorn down and pay attention. The vine is connected to your life force energy. It is not Little Shop of Horrors. It is good, and it is symbiotic with you. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful connection to Mother Earth. Let's put it that way. And let's say this vine is a vine of roses. Okay. Now, so you've got a beautiful vine of flowers, roses, flowers, whatever you want to be. I don't care. Some of you, maybe, like when the guys were telling me this earlier, they were saying passion flower is a really cool flower. And also there's a moonflower, which blooms at night. So pick your flower. Okay. Now, know it, imagine it, see it, feel it, how, I don't care how, but they're now connected to your body. Your physical body, but the energetic version of your physical body. Okay, now it's been installed. We have installed it. Your guides, your angels have installed it. How does it feel? Does it feel alive, green? Are the flowers blooming? Are the flowers falling off? Are there buds that haven't bloomed yet? Um, what do you know without knowing how you know it? Like, I know this, but I don't know how I know it. Describe it. Is your vine have, like I keep seeing this like a grapevine, that has like it's a woody kind of vine. Describe it. What color is it? Does it have a smell to it? Are the flowers open, closed? Now, also use this same exercise and see if the flowers around your belly look any different than the flowers around your heart, around your head, around your legs, because this is an exercise. You're going to have to practice it. Okay. But as you do this more and more often, you're going to start to see, oh, everything looks good except for there's a flower near my knee that's wilting. Well, that would tell you that there's something going on with your knee. Now, that could be a physical ailment. Okay. Or it could be an attachment. Okay. So you can put this on or you can leave it on, but it can indicate to you, because it's a living entity that's earth related and it's connected to your life force energy. So your life force energy activates it. You can't just put on a coat. We want to know how the diagnostics, it's like a diagnostic technician that sticks the little probe and says, okay, you have a temperature, or okay, it's throwing this error code. This is a version of that. We want to know where are things not working. That could be an attachment. So if you have like one of your flowers is wilting, by your shoulder, you might have an attachment there. And then you can then not freak out, right? We don't want to freak out. That's not going to be helpful. We want to stay calm and steady and rooted and grounded. We always do everything by grounding our energy, and you can Google how to ground your energy, but we always start by taking a deep breath and grounding our energy, okay? So, okay, there's something here. What I would do is use my intention and use my imagination to ask for it to be removed. Or I might ask, is this thing that's causing my flower to wilt or to droop or to fall off, is this not good for my energy? I'm going to assume no, because my flower looks or feels, or I know that's not doing well. So then I'm going to say, okay, can I remove it myself? Or do I need help? If you don't get an answer, if you don't have a feeling, I think I can do it myself, or no, I think I need to get help. This is practice. You're practicing, okay? If you're not sure, automatically ask for help. Call in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is a free agent angel. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Jesus, Mother Mary, they're not owned by the Catholic Church. They actually are ascended masters, ascended beings that can help anybody. And they do. All you need to do is ask for help. Guess what? When you ask for help, you're lighting up that connection to the divine. The more you light up that connection to the divine, the easier it is to get help. So it's really not a weakness to ask for help. It's actually a power play. It's kind of like saying, okay, I'm a human experiencing a human life, but I've got this spiritual thing going on. Let me get a spiritual solution. Okay, so you call in Archangel Michael, you call in Mother Mary or Jesus or Metatron, or whoever you're drawn to call in, and a team of angels. For me personally, I find that when I need healing, like what I find is for me, this could be different for you, but I find Archangel Michael or Archangel Metatron will come in and remove something that's not supposed to be there. If it's spiritual, they will come in and remove it. Well, then we need a healing, right? Because if you've removed something, there's an energetic wound or an energetic hole there. We don't want to leave that because it attracts more. Like if you have a wasp nest and you just take out the wasp and you don't take down the nest, that attracts more wasp. We don't want to attract more energies to this. So we're going to heal it. That's when I call in the angels. You simply take some deep breaths, get calm, get centered, allow the process to happen. Know that it's happening. If you don't see anything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay. You have to trust that it's happening. Then, after this process has been done, give it 12 hours, 24 hours. Pay attention to what you're drawn to do. If you have the idea, which is really guidance, but if you have the idea to take a shower, take a shower. If you have an idea to take a Epsom salt bath, do that. If you have the idea to even, wacky things, like, I don't know, I just had this idea to get bay leaves or rosemary or something and put it on there. I don't know. That's guidance. If you don't know, it's not human and it's not hurting anybody, it's not hurting you, then it's guidance. Okay. So just follow whatever you're guided to do. Oh, I feel like I need to drink a lot of water. Okay, do that, right? Wait 12, 24 hours, check your vine. How does it look? How does it feel? What do you know about it? I don't see anything, Susan. I don't feel anything, but I know. Somehow I know that the bloom is gone, but the vine is green. Okay? Be gentle. Be loving with yourself. Don't be judgmental. Oh my God, I lost. Oh my God, I had an attachment. What happened? If you're going to go into that kind of trauma response, then there's probably some therapy that could help you ground yourself and feel better about dealing with trauma. Okay. If you feel like trauma really sets you off and you can't do anything or you go into fight or flight, look into trauma therapy. If you cannot afford therapy, look into YouTube and see if there's anything on YouTube that could help you around trauma and dealing with that. Okay. Now, let's say you're a guy and you're like, well, I like, plants and roses, but I don't really want, I don't know, this is for me. Okay. You can also do this with, you can do it with anything. Your human creative mind can build worlds, can do anything. Okay. So for you, if you don't want to use a vine, you can use like a copper wire that goes around you, but has like an electrode or something that touches the skin that connects to your life force. Whatever that is, I don't know. Again, it can be anything as long as it goes around your body and it connects to your life force. Okay. So you could imagine a wire that connects to your life force that has little beeping lights or little flashing lights. And when the lights are green, you're good. When the lights are yellow, something's wrong. When they're red, you really need to deal with it. Now, an interesting thing about this is I'm describing this in visual terms, right? They're green, they're yellow, they're red. But you know what? You can know that it's red. You don't have to see it. You can know. I know it's green. I don't know how I know, but I know it's green. That's claircognizance. Clairvoyance is psychic seeing. Some people cannot see. Doesn't mean you can't be psychic. Then you know. If you don't know and you're not seeing, you feel. I feel that it's green. Oh, I feel that it's orange. Caution. Allow yourself to use whatever psychic ability, intuitive ability that you have. Don't judge yourself and say, well, I can never do this or I can never do that. You're not supposed to. You're you. You're supposed to do it your way. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. I thought this was fascinating because by having this tool, you can really check into your own body in a new way. Like some of us can just feel into our body and say, you know what, I feel energy around my stomach today. And I think that that's fear that I'm holding. And I wonder what that fear is. I think that's around my job, right? You can also learn how to do these things. You don't have, no one is stopping you. No one has to say you have the ability or you don't have the ability. You have the ability. You're born as a human. You have this ability. I promise you, you do. If you're watching this video, you do, right? There's some people that just are disconnected and they pulled that disconnecting wire when they were born or before they got here. They don't want to be connected in this lifetime, and that's fine. But they wouldn't be watching this video. They wouldn't be watching this video at 37 minutes. So if you're watching this video for 37 minutes, you have these abilities. Okay. So hopefully this was helpful. You just asked for Archangel Michael to remove it. You know that it's removed. You see that it's removed. You feel that it's removed. You hear it's been removed. You treat your body like you're overcoming an illness. You drink water, take good care of yourself. Now, the last thing I just want to say briefly is why, like, I think someone's asking, well, where do these attachments come from and why? Why? And I would just say to you, the guides are reminding me because they told me this great analogy this morning, which is, we go about our lives. We go to work, we go to school, we go home, we go to the park, we go to the grocery store, whatever we're doing. And sometimes we catch a cold. We just catch a cold. We're not trying to catch a cold. We just catch a cold. So this is just like attachments. If you don't do anything to help yourself with that cold, it might turn into bronchitis. But hopefully, when you catch a cold, you're like, oh, darn, I've come down with a cold. Let me make some tea. Let me, I don't know, maybe you're the kind of person that throws some lemon in some whiskey or something. I don't know. Let me go order some good vegetable soup or chicken soup, or let me, take an inhaler. You take care of yourself. This is what we're talking about. You take care of yourself in the physical world. You also need to take care of yourself in the spiritual world. As above, so below. As below, so above. It's all connected. So you catch a cold, you take care of yourself. If you don't, you end up at the doctor's office with bronchitis or pneumonia. Spiritually, you catch an attachment, and then you end up eventually at the doctor's office with some kind of malady because this thing has drained your lifeblood out of you. Okay, so if you're constantly getting sick, like, I don't know, like the last 3 years, I've just been sick. I don't know what's going on. And the last 3 years, I've don't have any energy. In the last 3 years, I've not been myself and I don't want to do anything. And there's lots of things to blame it on, right? Our society's kind of gone haywire, right? So you want to blame it on society or you want to blame it on your age. I would encourage you to pay attention to some other factors. It could be environmental. It could be that after a certain number of years on this planet, you're finally allergic to dust. You've never been allergic before, but now you are. So now your body's been throwing error codes saying, I'm allergic, I'm allergic, I'm allergic. This is how you get to a full-blown autoimmune disease. Because for a while, your body was trying to tell you, when you eat this thing, your stomach is upset. Every day you're sneezing and coughing, but you don't know why. These are your wake-up calls. If you don't deal with the physical, if you don't deal with the spiritual, it will manifest into something that you have to deal with. Okay. So you can catch an attachment. Again, if you're not feeling well, you can catch an attachment. If you're in places that have lots of energies, you can catch an attachment. Like hospitals and things like that. If you're a healer, if you're an empath, you can catch attachments because you don't have that handy shell and you didn't learn how to recycle your energy. You didn't learn how to like bring the energy in. Like when you're breathing, your lungs filter. This is what we're talking about. It's a filtration, an energetic filtration system. Empaths are supposed to have and do have, but we do not employ an energetic filtration system. Instead, we take the energy in and then we think, I think we do this subconsciously. We think this is toxic energy. I don't want to release it. I'm going to keep it so it doesn't hurt anybody. That's kind of also codependent. Okay, I'm just saying. So when you change your thinking to this toxic energy is coming into my body, when I release it, it's healed because I'm an empath. I'm a healer. Don't keep it in your body. Heal it, transmute it, and let it go. And guess what? You don't even have to do anything. This is your natural, like, set point of your life here on earth. How you transmute it is in the letting go. When you let go of that anger, when you let go of that person's disapproval of you, or when you let go of that limiting belief from that person, you let go of that person even, or you let go of that person's energy, you've transmuted it. You're not putting toxic back into the universe. So it's okay to let go. You're not abandoning someone. You're giving them the opportunity to heal. You're a healer. If you keep it in your body, like that poor guy and that mother's wrapped around his spine, he's not healed. She's not healed. She has not healed. Do not allow these physical humans to be vampires or these energetic energies to be vampires because you're not helping them. We think, oh, I'm saving them. I'm helping them. They would die without me. They would crash and burn without me. Not necessarily. The last story I'm going to tell you is before, again, when I very first started doing readings, there was this friend of a friend who wanted a reading. And so I did a reading for her. And I'm like, my gosh, this relationship you're in is very unusual. Like you have this kismet, you know what I mean? Almost like this karmic connection, right? But it's kind of killing you. You know what I mean? Like his energy is bad for you. You know what I mean? It's like toxic love is what it was. And I said, you kind of need to get out because if you don't get out, he's going to end up draining you. He's going to drain your energy and he's going to go from, like I think he had like MS. So but he had just been diagnosed. So he was very, his normal, he's working, he's doing all his things, right? And this guy made good money and they had a good lifestyle. And that was part of the problem. She was a stay-at-home mom. So she didn't have a lot of options. She's like, I don't know what my option is. I said, well, your option is you either find a way now, like this is a warning, right? Like you either find a way now to move on and get a career and, figure out your own independence now because you're going to end up being his caretaker. He's going to get so sick. And she said, well, wait a minute. I don't want to leave him if he's going to need my help. But that was actually codependency. You guys think, oh, Susan, that's harsh. That's not nice. Should she give up her life to a guy that treats her like crap? No. I'm not saying this guy's an angel. I'm not saying this guy is, loves her and treats her with respect. He treated her like crap. And he knew she was trapped. He knew she liked the lifestyle. And he beat her up emotionally about it, right? Turned her daughter against her. This guy was no saint. So the spirit guides are like, look, move on, save yourself. Her fear was, if I move on, he's going to be homeless. He wouldn't be homeless. The guy had money. He could deal with this, right? But even if he didn't have money, it's not your job. It's not your job to save somebody who's beating the, emotional crap out of you. Okay, that's not your job. So when she left him, he did, go down. I mean, he obviously the MS progressed and he ended up being, homebound, but he was fine. He actually lived a lot longer than he would have had she stayed with him, because then she would have been part of his karma. She would have hooked her wagon to his horse and ridden that thing all the way down. And in the end, she found out that she wasn't even in his will, that he had done some things financially that had she stayed married to him, all those things she was staying married to him for, the security, wouldn't have panned out. So I don't know why they're telling you this story. I don't know why. Hopefully it makes sense. I don't know why. It has a reason. There's a reason they wanted me to tell you that. It's important for you to know that. I think it's basically that you can't allow these people to become vampires, whether they're an energy attachment or whether they're an energy living vampire. It's not going to end well for you, and it's not going to help them. So when the point is, when she left him, he actually did better without her, because the karmic lesson was gone for both of them. Once the karmic lesson that they were going to bring each other down together, if they stayed together, you're going down together. Once she separated from him, she became her own person, he became his own person. They were happier. All the fear she had about, if I leave this guy, I'm a terrible person. I couldn't divorce him. I'm a terrible, what is my daughter going to think? All these fears did not come true. That was her limiting beliefs. That was her understanding of what she thought would happen. What ended up happening is she got a career, she got a life, he got a life, and they went on and did their separate things. So when you're getting rid of these attachments, or you're getting rid of these vampires, don't feel bad for them. Don't get caught up in that codependency of, I have to save them. Perhaps really you're healing them. Perhaps you're giving them a chance to heal, because you're not enabling them anymore. Now that they're not being enabled, they can stand on their own 2 feet. They can figure out their own thing. They can live their own life, like that poor guy whose mother was curled around his spine. I pray all the time. When I think about him, I pray that he got released from that, because again, it was horrific. It was terrible. Her energy was the worst. So you don't want that. You don't want that. You're not supposed to be a victim. You're not supposed to be a victim. You are not a victim. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of peace, of health, of joy. You're worthy of those things. Your birthright, the fact that you were born as a human being, means you're worthy of those things. And don't let anybody else tell you you're not. Okay? Whew. Wow. Yeah, wow. This was one of my wow videos. If you've enjoyed this, thank you. I'm happy. I'm doing my soul path. I'm doing my soul work. It's a little, I go off in the weeds and I fall down and I get up and I stumble around, but I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't pretty, but I'm doing it. Listen, thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in my classes, my online community, my events, check out my website down below, SusanLynnMedium.com. SusanLynnMedium.com. I'm going to try to get that video on the end here that talks about this woman who teaches you how to filter bad energy. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal video. It's free. It's right here on YouTube. Okay, take really good care of yourself. I'll see you next Wednesday.